Nobody get high like me, smoke a blunt like me, Smokey Dash, Friday 2 like me. All of them wanna do like me, be a do like me, but they ain't true like.
You might be wondering who we are, and the three of us are the Rapcast. Okay, it looks a little bit different, because Alex has stains all over his shirt. I thought I'd just get that out of the way right away. Because that's a bummy chic. That's a bummy chic look. Okay.
Yo, shout out local businesses. We got to keep them alive during COVID-19.
It's our responsibility.
Sultan's.
Okay, that's a good one.
Kebab shop. They got wings. I mean, we got to shout out our local businesses.
I want to do a quick. Well, actually, introduce yourself.
I'm Josh, aka J Pasty, aka PJ Martian. To my right is
Young Jizz, aka Andrew, aka Bluebeard.
And to his right is
the number one Stunna.
Gunna is here today.
Gunna.
Thank you, Gunna, for coming to the Rapcast.
Yeah.
I want to do a quick fuck 12 because that should be a thing. I want to do a quick RIP to DMX because that was pretty big news.
Yeah.
I didn't really listen to DMX. I got into rap in 2013, so I didn't really.
Yeah.
It wasn't a part of my life at all, but still sad nonetheless.
I feel like even for the millennials, if you enjoyed the movie Deadpool, they used X Gon' Give It To You in an amazing, a really entertaining scene. Yeah. I enjoyed that part.
No, the popularity of just that one song is enough to really fucking cement his legacy.
I'm not a huge DMX head, but I know about. I mean, Party Up.
Yeah.
I mean, is one of the best songs.
I really
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
Fucking
yeah, even Josh. I mean,
come on.
He knows that one.
He's really not a rap head at all. Like I have my taste, but even like I know of his stuff, you know.
Yeah. So that sucks. But also Prince Philip. I mean, as the local British.
Yeah. So today, Mazel Tov.
Yeah.
We're talking about Brockhampton. We're going to review Roadrunner. We've all watched it. Josh is on camera today.
This is my 12th beer.
We all watched the entire movie, and it was pretty fucking sick, alright?
I know, before anybody brings it up, we know the meme of the three white dudes talking about Brockhampton out of all things. We get it.
Yeah, we've seen the memes, okay? I've been sent the memes personally.
We are going to probably do a meme. Okay, let's do the meme right now.
I'm just beating it to
Wait, how are they sitting? Like this?
Chase.
Yeah, like very.
Or whatever the phrase is.
Yeah. No, the one guy's always like this.
And the one kid is like...
And there's one guy jerking off in the background.
Yeah.
That one kid?
Alright, so we have the thumbnail out of the way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're reviewing Brockhampton's Roadrunner today, kind of talking about them, a few of their past albums, a little bit of their story. I mean, not their story, but our story with them, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to talk about, because we want to really do the full review, because we have three people's perspectives to get off.
Yeah, and Josh is a huge Brockhampton fan, so we thought we'd get him on properly. He's always been on the podcast. If you listened before, you've heard his voice, but on the cam for the first time.
My little 2 cents.
Yeah.
He's the little engine that could, you know.
I have a little edge in there.
Yeah.
And now you can see the Radiohead posters in the back.
You're starting to see a little bit more of our lives here.
Yeah.
So.
Or this is my wall, basically, all this.
Yeah. And mine's going to be revamped at some point. I'm not going to give too much away, but there may be a Snoop Dogg poster involved in that, so keep your eyes and ears out for that one.
Let's just talk about briefly getting into Brockhampton and how.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to give it up to...
Say it.
Anthony Fantano.
Ooh.
For being the guy who used his platform to make them big enough to get into, or whatever. Or... Okay, I completely lost track of my...
It's going to be a little bit of a rough...
it is the 420 episode.
It's a 420 episode, so...
Yeah, on the back end, we're going to talk about best Brockhampton songs.
So if you don't like Brockhampton, skip to just the 420 section. But it was Fantano.
Even though we hate him now, or... I hate him.
I'm kind of indifferent. I still watch his shit.
It was just a take that I had, but, I mean... I'll still watch a video here and there.
Yeah, it's not
something that I'm interested in what reviewers out there are saying, you know.
Yeah, true.
And then I'll steal their opinions and do them for my podcast.
Yeah.
I got actually. I didn't watch Fantano's interview and review of it. I actually got into it through you guys because Andrew asked me to make a beat, to recreate the beat for Lamb, and I'm like, that sounds actually like a fun project. I've never done that before, so let me listen to it. Oh shit, this song's actually really good. And then I heard Star for the first time, and I'm like, okay, this is the same group. Holy shit! And then I heard we were at the cottage one time, and up in the woods, and we Andrew played Waste, and I'm like, this is the same group. Holy shit! And I've been a fan of them ever since. Yeah.
Remind me, Waste is the really like instrumental rock and roll.
Waste is the bareface one at the end of
like the emo
of one. You know?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, because I think I got both of you. Didn't I get you into Brockhampton too? Or I was talking about them, and like a few other people got you into it, but I was like a part of that.
I think for giving credit, it was probably you.
Okay, that's another. I'm gonna write that down so we can just keep track of that. Andrew's always right. All right.
Okay, but I discovered Kanye.
That's that's true.
I actually found him.
I definitely wouldn't have gotten into Kanye without you, though, to an extent. Or at least not as late. It's not as early as I did, even though it was still pretty late. But I'm not giving you any flowers because I don't really actually like you. This is all business relationship.
No, it's completely
and we should stick
transactional.
To we should stick to business.
We
but
don't like each other. We just do it for the money.
And so if you watched episode 9, I think that was the concerts one. We talked a little bit about our experience at Brockhampton concerts.
Yeah,
because me and you went to see them during the fucking like. I can't remember what the name of the tour was.
Jennifer's tour.
Yeah, Jennifer's tour or some shit like that. With I don't know.
Yeah, it's like Saturation 2 was the latest one at the time.
Yeah. That's single-handedly. I said this before. It's single-handedly the biggest regret of my life is not seeing them with you guys.
To be fair, it wasn't that great of a show.
I know, but it's like, but I'm like
that's the number one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's crazy. Like, because I just wanted to hear, like. Some of the songs that we'll never get to hear, you know what I mean? Like,
we got
to see Amir.
Which is you can't do anymore. But then me and Josh saw them as well on their Ginger tour.
That was great
at the Regal Coliseum, which was pretty good as well. But I think I'm probably past the point where I can see Brock, unless there's like a huge festival that I go to see them, like while I'm on the ground instead of in the stands, just because. Shit's expensive, and they're playing at big Coliseums now. And
I didn't really have that much fun at that show, to be honest with you.
Well, that's because you couldn't get high.
That, and we were on the fucking balcony,
and security guards kept walking. When we talked about it in episode 9, go back to it if you want to.
The point being, Brockhampton, like they were the first thing that I watched the video for the first song off Saturation 1, whatever.
Heat.
Heat.
Yeah.
The songs are very hard to remember.
Yeah,
the first hits were Gold and Heat and
Star.
Which is
that's the first 3 songs on that album. That's a crazy fucking way to start your first big
songs
mainstream
are
album.
all insane,
and they're still great to this day.
Yeah.
And specifically the video for Heat, I was just like intrigued by this group of dudes,
Yeah.
Because like especially you had Joe Bun at the end just being like, fuck you! Yeah. Make it next so you can watch it back. Yeah, and I was just like, crazy. I love this wackiness thrown in with like this sort of like very Kanye inspired.
Oh, for sure.
Kind of like
artistic
rap.
They're a group that wears influences very much on their sleeves, but since there's so many of them, they have so many different influences, so it still is always changed up, and it's always different styles and shit.
That's what I really, really like about them.
They are actually insanely, like, just what's possible with that many creative people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They give me a lot of, like, inspiration for, like, because, like, as great as Odd Future is, and they get a lot of comparison to Odd Future, I think that the talent... level has been like you get Earl and Tyler and Frank, and then who else?
The internet with Sid. Domo Genesis is actually pretty good too.
Yeah, but then it's like you don't really remember the rest of them. You know, like but these guys, I think.
Well, Taco and fucking
Taco
Jasper
became an actor,
and
Jasper.
There's a few other guys there, but
Jasper has an OnlyFans right now, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, a subscriber.
Yeah, and so but I think that each of them in Brockhampton has something interesting and new to offer That's
I think it's still kind of
other.
an unfair comparison in terms of that, just because I feel like we haven't seen Brockhampton separate yet.
Yeah.
We've seen Earl separate and Tyler separate, and they all get better. We've yet to see that if that's going to happen with Brockhampton. Some might just kind of fall off. Who knows? Like some people might not be able to carry a solo album as well as others.
But I think
that's one of the interesting
They all have
things.
crazy potential for sure.
We should get into that when we actually do the review. Which of these rappers you see going in a different direction when they go solo,
because we are going to talk about how they claim their next album is the last, and I have a few things to say about that, but we'll keep that to the end of the review.
They will probably go their separate ways.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then the first Saturations were like immediate classics, and I got all my friends into Brockhampton from that. Some of them were sort of like, this is a little too weird, like with the high voices.
Yeah.
And the sometimes like lo-fi or sort of experiment, too, like little wacky off the wall type shit that like
little ideas here and there that are a little
maybe people
strange.
Don't really.
No, I can understand some of their songs being a little like not.
Junkie is not a song you want to play at a party.
Oh no, that is a song I want to hear at a party. That shit goes crazy.
Well,
it's kind of like
it's very like
very odd,
emotional, like confessional, kind of shit. Boogie, that's the one I would play at the party.
Oh yeah, for sure. That one's going off. So what do you guys think of? Because there's so many debates online of like fucking Saturation Trilogy. That's their best shit. Iridescence and Ginger. I think they're both still good albums. I like them less when they first came out. I was bigger on them when they first came out, and now I'm like, okay, well, certain songs I'm not going to listen to anymore, but still some great songs on there, and still some fantastic ideas. I mean, commonly known to be not as strong as Saturation. There might be some people that, favorite album is Ginger or Iridescence, but I think for the majority of people, and probably the three of us as well, like to see your opinions. Saturation Trilogy is still probably the best. Not regarding this new album, if this new album hadn't come out beforehand.
I think that they all have something to offer. I think
no, for sure.
And they're
all necessary.
I actually wouldn't say that the Saturation Trilogy is better or worse than the rest of them, simply because because the Saturation Trilogy had so much there's that history and that
that
whole
summer
the mythology
with
behind
all the
it.
little indie kids who were gravitating towards it. It was a big movement.
And then but I think that
remember the people at that concert we went to, and it was just.
We're talking like we were part of some like the hippie movement or whatever.
That's
we
true.
were all out there in San Francisco, and the LSD was just going around. Like
I feel like Josh is trying to dick ride just so he can get more shoutouts from Dom.
No,
because Dom retweeted. Okay, Josh is close friends with Dom now.
Josh is going.
He's got
viral
beats
on
from
Twitter
Dom.
now.
Okay, he's going viral on Twitter from Dom tweets.
It's weird. Like that's the most liked tweet I've ever had.
He watches the same YouTube as you almost, or plays video games like you do. It's
you and Dom.
Yeah. So
would actually get along.
Dom is actually that's not true. It's a tie between Dom and Bareface as my favorite member, depending on the day. But I did when they put out the individual member CDs. I bought the Dom one because I don't know. I just like his verses. I think he is the best lyricist in.
I agree with that. I got Merlin because I'm like, I don't want Merlin to fucking have his shit not sold out. Like,
we want to rep the underdogs.
I want people to recognize Merlin's brilliance.
So they got all different CDs for every
member. Yeah.
Wow. So lowest selling one, Ryan Beatty.
I don't think he had one. No,
Jabari.
Jabari had one. His sold out. All of them sold out because they only made a limited amount of copies anyway. But
okay, the point being, Iridescence is sort of like at a 70% for me.
That's
like
fair. I'm probably saying the same.
There's certain songs that I really like on it. The one that's like, shooby dooby da da da, yeah,
Thug Life.
Woo! Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I actually like.
That's one of my favorite songs. Like that one just like makes me so happy. I love that song.
Yeah, that's a great song, and like I actually really like all the songs on that one. I think. And it's another thing of the mythology behind it, of like they went to Abbey Road and made it in 10 days. And
it's kind of their breakup album, just angsty shit.
Just like really
crazy
angry
ideas just because of the shit they just went through with Amir.
Yeah. I just think it's a little too all over the place. And
there's songs that I just like, I don't know, Vivid and Honey, like I'm not going to listen to.
Yeah, same with that one, Vivid. I don't think I like the song New Orleans.
Oh no, New Orleans is great.
I don't. Some of them are just a little too.
the back
just
half
sounds a little too raw.
Yeah,
like,
the back half is a little weaker than the first half. Like there's a few on the back half that aren't great.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I remember also they were hyping it up saying like this is our Kid A and this is our like we're heavily inspired by Radiohead's Kid A, and I'm like
Radiohead.
I love that album so fucking much. I'm not, anybody who knows me knows that, and so I'm like I kind of have a bias already because like knowing, and I can totally see the influence in it, and like they're completely out of left field, and super experimental and not really giving a shit about what the audience is gonna think. They're just
you got
doing
pregnant Matt Champion on the Matt Champion actually.
How much did you smoke when you were out there? Like
420 episode, man.
Moving on to Ginger, I think Ginger is a lot better. It starts to. I don't think I like the last one or two songs or whatever.
To me, I find it very similar to.
But it's really strong. I would give it like an 80 to 90%.
I put it a little bit higher than Iridescence, but still has the thing of me like there's 3 or 4 songs in the back end that just aren't that good. Like they're still good to an extent, and I like parts about them, but they're just not all there. The concepts aren't fully realized. Like there's some kind of sloppy ideas.
The track list for Ginger I found to be a little scatterbrained. I think that there's like if they ordered the tracks a lot better, I guess I actually did that. I made a custom playlist of the tracks on Ginger and tried to rearrange them, and I think that actually works,
dude.
In a way that actually works.
Post that in the thumbnail or whatever.
But I actually do think that Iridescence and Ginger are higher on my list than Saturation 3.
Really?
That's a hot take.
I mean, we're gonna give off or I guess we can do our rankings at the very end after we talk about Roadrunner, which we should because. That's what we're here to talk about, really.
Okay, one thing that I wanted to mention about Ginger, which will segment into it, is that like I feel like Kevin Abstract is back on this.
Yes.
On this new Brockhampton album.
Absolutely, I was going to say that.
In Ginger, he has this really low energy. I'm trying to be really serious. I can't show emotions, kind of. Or I don't know if that's exactly the best description of his style.
No, it's very low energy. I think you said it right.
He doesn't really have a flow
he has a flow, but it's a low key kind of.
But it's interesting how he sort of takes the mantle as the leader
of the band. Yeah,
which is, I mean, it kind of makes sense because I think he had the most of a career before the band.
He's the one who set everything up, I think.
And it just makes sense for a band like that to have a natural, like all great bands in the past have had like a natural leader, even if there's like a bunch of them that are just as important, or more, if not more important. Like,
but I think him like really coming back with like the aggressive laying it all out in the fucking
the intro,
ground.
Just Buzzcut at the very beginning is a crazy reintroduction to Kevin and how okay,
he's like
no more fucking mundane shit.
He's got the best. His flows are sounding the best that they have since Saturation, I think.
But I think his hooks are a little lacking though now.
Yeah, I can see that. I understand.
And I like a lot of the hooks on here, but there's a few that are just like they use the chipmunky voice for, which is okay. I like it, but it kind of it's not like as catchy or as maybe that's not what they're going for because it's obviously a very different album and it's trying to be. It's sonically not like anything.
Yeah.
Sonically should be a check. I feel like, but
sonically. We do a little Sonic the Hedgehog
Sonic animation.
Okay, here's one disclaimer that I should get off before we get too deep into this conversation.
Go for it.
I've been very busy lately.
Yeah,
with work.
Yes, as of we are.
And didn't really get around to listening to it until like Wednesday.
Right.
It's Friday.
You're still very...
I've listened, but I've been listening to it a lot.
Yeah.
So I have thoughts, but it's still very early in my digestion of it. So I might sound a little bit like behind sometimes.
They released this thing during finals week for me, so it's like...
We're all extremely fucking high-strung right now. So
for the past 2 weeks, I've been working nonstop as well, so it's...
so we have not had a lot of time to digest it.
But that being said, like pretty much whenever I put on music, I just put on the album just so I can... so I can listen to it. So I'll probably listen to it about maybe 4 times now, like overall.
I'm just saying a disclaimer about my opinions. Like I might I'm not like probably gonna change. Like once I hear it more, like
I'm right there.
Get a better.
But even then, it's only been out for like a week, so even then, it's not a lot of time. So these opinions can change, obviously.
I'm notorious.
This is the first impressions.
I'm notorious for having things like not click with me for the first or second listen. It usually takes a third listen for something to really click with me, and so this is going to be an example of that, I think.
Yeah, Buzzcut was that was the first one with the music video, which was like next level. That's probably going to top my music video charts at the end of the year, just because the shit they're doing with that is something that I would see people in my integrated digital program doing, but like in a way better way.
Way better. Way more budget.
Way better, way more budget, and a whole lot more Danny Brown, which is a sick collab.
Yeah.
I wish that song had another verse though, from like Matt Champion or Dom or Merlin would kill that. Like, that's my one big. No critique, but it's something that I definitely noticed, and it's taken me a while to get used to, is that this album, there's only like the one like posse cut, and they have a lot of features on it, which lends less time for some of the people that were known to. There's a lot less Bareface on this one, a lot more Joba, a lot less Merlin and Dom. Still, Kevin is majority of it, I think, but there is something to say about
Joba really takes.
It's Joba's album,
a big portion of it.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I was.
I'm a big Joba fan.
Yeah,
I'm here for it because especially when he's on his game. There's a few times where before I'm like, okay, he's kind of doing a weird thing here. I'm not really vibing with it as much. But he's on his game for this entire album. Aside from maybe
he does a bit of a weird thing on
Windows.
One of the songs I don't like as much.
Oh, really? Okay, we'll get into it. But the song Windows, the whole posse cut, he kind of has this flow and talks about like COVID-19 and kind of like an Eminem almost type of approach to it with the flow and some of the subject matter. I'm like, okay, this is a little. I didn't vibe with it as much as everyone else's verse on there, but that was the only low point, I think, for Joba on this album for me. And even then, I still fuck with it to an extent.
Yeah, I still like that song.
Windows, I'm so glad we have Windows, because I was listening...
It's a 6-minute song, but there's like everything about it is like necessary.
And I was listening to this album for the first time with my roommates, Hayden and Lila, who are also both big Brockhampton fans, and we were all kind of getting off our opinions right away, for sure. And I was saying, like, around before the song started, I'm okay, I really just want to hear a posse cut at this point, because we haven't got a lot of them together, which kind of, I think this album has some of that. But yeah, we'll talk about each of those songs when we get to it.
I was worried because they released that, but they released this one, Buzzcut, and what's the new one? The other
Count on Me?
Count on Me. And it was 90% features. It only had one Matt Champion verse, really, and then the chorus full of like other features. And I'm like, I'm worried that this is gonna be
too feature heavy,
and we're not gonna get the thing that I really like about Brockhampton is like the group dynamic and their sort of back and forth. The chemistry, exactly. And I was worried that this would be too feature heavy. We're not going to get that. I was wrong for the most part, because we still do get a lot of good feature,
which is. Go ahead.
I like the features.
Chemistry. Me too, and they're all good.
For sure, not doubting.
And I've been saying before as well, Brockhampton need to get more features, and they need to feature on more people's shit, because they need to. There's something in their sound like it could help other people feature on their song, could help them develop new sounds and shit like that. So
music is always better when there's like unlimited people of like. Collaborating, and it's just there's more like opportunity for like there's Danny Brown and Brockhampton, like this is like shit that like hip hop Reddit will
JPEG Mafia
people
like,
will do a long post about like shit. Predicting some like, okay, this is what so and so would sound on so and so song.
I mean Danny Brown, JPEG Mafia, ASAP Rocky, ASAP Ferg, who's a crazy fucking verse as well. Shawn Mendes,
quality features.
Charlie Wilson, So Gone, So Flexy, Baird, who I've never heard of.
The Shawn Mendes is like a secret feature.
Which is I have a kind of it's weird that Count on Me has an actual ASAP Rocky verse and he's not featured, while Bankroll barely has an ASAP Rocky verse and he is featured. Because he had a verse in the original song, because that song Bankroll was teased for a while. It leaked not too long ago with a proper
I like
Rocky
that.
verse.
That's a little bait and switch where. Because the song "Count on Me" starts with ASAP Rocky, and you're thinking, "Oh shit, what is this? What?
Yeah,
there's gonna be more ASAP," and then you're pleasantly surprised that they actually,
which we desperately need, by the way.
But
new
it's
ASAP.
still a very we're talking about like a 40-second verse that he gives off. Like it's not like he's fucking taking up a huge part of like it is still really a Brockhampton album. It's not. It wasn't really that like the features.
But at the same time, I can see people kind of coming in, at least at the beginning of the stretch here, the only features you get on the first 3 songs, the only people from the album you get are Kevin, Dom, and Matt Champion.
Right.
There's no Joba or Merlin.
You get Joba and Merlin at the end of Buzzcut.
Oh yeah, I guess, but not. That's in a more significant role. But that's kind of Brockhampton's thing, is that some people will have more significant parts on certain songs. Some people have less. It's part of the creative fucking process that we fucking deal with. Yeah. So it's
that made me. The ending of Buzzcut made me laugh. It's like, look at the sky.
Yeah,
like that shit made me laugh.
What is God to you?
That's great. I love
that. Buzzcut is one of the you fucking accelerate your vehicle.
Oh, yes, almost crashed my car too. So
you know,
that's a good one. Yeah,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying accelerate 5 to 10 kilometers over the speed limit. Okay, getting a little bit wild, a little bit crazy. Okay, it's Friday. Okay, it's 4:20.
Not well, yeah, kind of almost. It's 4:16, but yeah,
right.
Close enough. We won't be able to celebrate 4:20 at 3 of us, so we just have to do it now, kind of. Yeah, that's a
Danny
fucking
Brown
punch in the face.
fits in perfectly with the crew. He has sick bars about
incels, dude. Yes, we're all waiting for the high five for incels, boys, all around.
I was smiling ear to ear when he mentioned that. It was like, yes, somebody else who's going off on incels. I love it because fuck incels.
There's people commenting, about that on the music video or whatever. Only Danny Brown could do it. Could say normies on the song.
In a way, there were incels that were attracted to that verse, probably. But anyway,
it's just funny for Danny Brown to be, because he is for him to say that, because he's kind of like a celebrity on like the weird part of the internet that likes fucked up crazy ass dudes that like are a little.
They have a crossover with fucking. Insane Clown Posse. You know that shit's gonna get fucking... Yeah. That whole kind of section of music is a little strange.
Danny Brown's music is a little too freaky for,
mass,
your average
audiences.
Yeah. It's not really for
for everybody.
Yeah. Turn it off if the hoes are around.
Yeah.
The hoes don't want to hear, ain't it funny when it happens? Hate it?
Yeah, but on the other side of that, JPEG Mafia, I usually hear in a crazier... I mean, the beat is still crazy on Chain on Me. It's a very kind of just loop, minimalistic loop.
It's like a skateboarding...
almost Alchemist type in a way.
Song. Yeah. I could picture it in the background of like someone doing manuals and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
But JPEG's verse is really good.
Very,
he has
very
this
good.
crazy line about Dua Lipa,
Duolingo. Yeah. I don't need 6 seconds. I remember Vine.
And I'd never even really heard JPEG Mafia before. Like, I'd never really done the...
You've heard some of his features, though, right?
Not even really.
Really?
What was he on that I would have listened to? I don't know.
One Denzel song on Taboo.
Yeah, I like how Chain On is like a sort of laid back song.
But also, they're talking about real shit. Like, Dom goes off at the end.
Like, as far as like getting the rhythm of the album going, I think it's good. It's a good second, or like, it's a good song to have. Like, as far as sequencing goes, like
that's fair. No, it makes sense.
There.
And it's good to get most of the big features out of the way first, so they can get into like the kind of the core of the album later on.
Count on Me is one of my early favorites on it.
A lot of people are not liking that one as much, I feel.
Really?
Yeah. I like it. I don't know. I think it's a good track.
It's a good hook.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little... People are like, oh, the mix is trash. I'm like, okay, I get it, but like, it's not bad enough to ruin a song. A$AP Rocky kills it. Fucking Matt Champion's on it and does great too. And fucking... No, it's a TikTok song, but it's good.
Yeah.
Bro, Ryan Beatty, we gotta give it up. He has the main hook on that song, right?
Yeah. With Shawn Mendes.
The one that but it's Ryan Beatty and Shawn Mendes.
Yeah, and I think maybe Bear or some Joba or like, I think there was like one other person behind there somewhere, but I don't have fucking genius in front of me.
That's one of the more earwormy hooks that
yeah, that's definitely a
but this is
classic.
Like early on listening to the album, the ones that stick with you early on. Next song,
Bankroll. This one has been teased for a minute now. It has bunch of different versions.
Josh, what did you think about A$AP Ferg?
Oh yeah, Josh doesn't listen to A$AP
as a non A$AP head.
I mean, I thought it was good. Like, I enjoyed
get off their dick, Josh. Come on, give me your real opinions.
I don't know. I don't really have an opinion. I just liked it.
What did you think? Yeah, I love his bar about
supposed to do video treatments and such. I love that. I love that fucking flow he's doing on that shit.
Yeah. And it's funny. It's just thinking about him, like some guy trying to talk to him about that, and he's just on IG.
Yeah.
With the hose.
You know, I think Ferg kills it. I do kind of wish Rocky. It's already kind of a stacked song, but there was an original Rocky verse that was pretty fire on that song. But I guess the one on Count on Me is very good as well. You got Merlin.
It's very short,
Merlin
though.
Goes off on the hook too, and he has a great verse.
Yeah. That's really that's the first Merlin on.
And that's a big song for Merlin too. He has the hook and the chorus, and he's like him and A$AP Ferg are like the shining points of that song. Mm-hmm. Matt Champion does his thing too, obviously.
I didn't like Matt Champion's part as much.
The chorus or his verse? Got my bankroll. It's kind of the chorus of that. I don't remember his verse too much, but maybe that's a bad thing. I don't know.
I don't know. I guess it's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's still. I mean, we're not going to remember every single part to every single song. It's been a week.
The light.
This is where you start getting to the real.
Oh man,
the real album almost.
This is where I'm going to come out straight and say this is one of their best songs they've ever made. The light.
Damn.
It's because it's like it's so. Even though it's just technically just Kevin and Joba, they go in crazy with like the flows and the wordplay and what they're trying to say. I think that's like
I think it's less about wordplay and clever bars about like real shit, but also making it like poetic in some ways, and having bars in there. Because Kevin has the whole thing of like, there's no love. This is not tennis.
Yes, that's a great line.
Take off your shoes. I just put the carpets in.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
It's like
So
play bedtime stories in purgatory. That's a crazy. There's some crazy imagery.
Yeah, this is one of those like when people say that this is Joba's album, or that like Joba really.
Yeah, this and the light part too, because it was about that whole story.
Mm-hmm. It's because he gets so personal talking about how his dad killed himself.
It has
like
crazy poetry.
That's really really like
and he's just super honest about it and vulnerable. That's commendable for sure, and also just very well said, well spoken, and just there was this one bar in the light part too. Something about like the fucking something about the sky. Fucking I don't know. I'll look it up when we get there. But
isn't that an interesting thing about how like the different members of Brockhampton, like depending on how much you learn about their story or their life, is like which are the ones that you gravitate more towards or whatever, the ones you relate to. Because I like how with that song that's the Joba's sort of emotions are in the first half of it.
Yeah.
And the second half is Kevin talking about how he's still struggling with his family accepting him being gay and all this stuff.
And like
different type of struggle.
Other things that are going on in his life too, but that's sort of the I think the main thrust of it.
Yeah.
That's really one of the things that makes them connect with people a lot.
There are other vulnerable songs in the past have always been ones that really stood out to me and like kind of sets them apart in certain ways.
That's what I don't understand about like people who are critiquing their newer stuff, saying, "Oh, they're too sad all the time." It's like, have you listened to First Three Saturations? They're full of like sad songs too.
Yeah, but there are going to be some fans where they're like, "Where's the Heats? Where's the Golds? Where's the Stars? Where's the
this
shit
one's
like that?"
got it,
Yeah, not as much bangers as they used to. I think though overall, because the one big banger on this is "Don't Shoot Up the Party." Bankroll's a banger too.
Buzzcut's a banger.
Buzzcut, yeah, I guess there are bangers. They're just in different ways almost. Like they're not like. I mean, they've got more experimental. I think that's kind of the key.
Yeah,
I think it's like interesting because it's we were talking about earlier about how like a lot of the albums we feel like the first half of it is more party songs, and then the second half starts to drag a little bit when it gets too sad or something like that.
Yeah, it's a tricky balance. Because they got so much.
There's really good sad songs that they do too. It's not like that simple,
Yeah, no, for sure.
And how do you like track sequence like an album full of like stuff that's not just one note? Sort of like this is a party album. This is like an album that's such a huge, wide a range of emotions.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like and so many different styles too. Yeah. And it's like how do you sequence that?
Yeah. There was a lot of ones on here because we'll get back to the light and the crazy guitar shit in that one. There was a lot of like,
so great.
Because the song "What's the Occasion?" That's just a fucking My Chemical Romance song. Like, that's just a rock song.
I was going to say that's their indie rock song.
Yeah, like that's a early 2000s fucking rock ballad.
Hell, if you turn on like indie rock radio, Indie 88, shout out.
It's like how you go on rock stations and they're playing Machine Gun Kelly now.
Yeah.
Which is the next song?
Windows, which at this point I was like, okay, I'm glad that they're doing a posse cut here because they needed it. They needed one to just get everyone in on just rapping about hard shit, like nothing too serious.
Thoughts on So Gone, So Flexy?
I think he's pretty good. I think he adds a grit that they've been lacking since Amir. You can argue that there's a hole that it fits to an extent. I don't think he's as good as Amir, as talented as he was, but I think he's serviceable, and he has some pretty good bars, but it doesn't blow me away.
Yeah.
But it does add a different element that they are missing. So I respect it.
Yeah, I love Dom's verse on it. I think he goes like, it's not emotional, but like he really sort of has a sort of wide range of
That's a crazy bar. That was one I was gonna mention. Yeah, that's another hook though that I'm kind of like, if it wasn't for the chipmunk, if they go a little bit, like, couldn't come for you, it goes a little bit out of their.
Oh yeah, he's that's totally an impression of like the Dream.
Yeah,
like the singer.
I think it has Jabari on there, and I have some thoughts about Jabari that I want to get off, and I'll do it. I might as well do it now. On an album where there's already so many features and there's not a lot of spots for people to go on.
I thought Jabari was a feature guy.
Yeah, you didn't really need Jabari.
I liked his stuff on Technical Difficulties.
I did like his stuff on Technical Difficulties too.
I didn't hear that.
I liked the chorus on Old News.
Yeah.
And there's maybe one or two other parts that were pretty catchy, but yeah, I don't think he was necessarily completely needed. No offense to him, but for an album that they already have so many members, and I appreciate, if he wants to be in the limelight more and start being part of the music, go all for it. But on an album that's supposed to be tight like this, I don't think he's exactly necessary.
Yeah, I didn't like his part as much as everyone else, but it's just because the quality is so high. It's nothing against him. It's just that Brockhampton's so good.
Exactly.
It's hard to stack up.
Yeah, and then
sometimes
song,
I had to look up who was rapping.
There's times where I didn't even realize until like 2 days ago. Oh wait, that's this person, or not that. Not this person.
I like Windows a lot. Like it's got the good amount of like wackiness that comes with the Brockhampton,
but also like straight rap shit at the same time compared to some of the other stuff.
Yeah, and it's like
which is
I've
always appreciated.
Dom's verse is like, I think it's a little bit too lyrical miracle for me, like a little
That's
bit.
Fair.
But he does definitely get some bars. Probably a lot of it is I just don't know it yet because it's a little. His stuff is the most
complex,
dense. As far as like word choice and what he's.
Yeah,
metaphors
that's
all that.
why I like him the most, is that his imagery and his like really, he seems to really put so much thought into his lyrics that it is like poetry almost. And
I feel like
it is poetry really.
I feel weird, like Joba is somehow my favorite just because he spills the most about his personal life that makes you feel like the guy like better than the rest of them. You know what I mean? Like also he just, I feel like he's the one that I could play in a movie or like
you'd be a good Joba.
Yeah, you could pull that off,
and you could be a good Matt Champion.
And Josh
could be the one
Ryan Beatty.
Yeah, I don't know. Ryan Beatty.
A really ugly Ryan Beatty, because I can't
fucking dyes, bleaches your hair blonde.
I can't do bareface. Like that's.
Oh no, yeah, you would be the bareface.
No, I couldn't be.
Shout out Ryan Beatty for real, dog.
You keep fucking. I feel like you're clowning on Ryan Beatty today, bro.
Yeah.
Air it out, dog.
You got beef with him. Sorry, man.
I'm like Ryan Beefy. We'll cut that one.
I'm gonna punch you.
At least you're not farting as much in this episode.
Yeah, no, I'm all backed up.
That was not good, man.
My girlfriend commented on that. She was like, "So now you're farting in your podcast too?" Because I fart all the time in front of her, and she does not like it at all.
You gotta.
But that's just part of my life, man.
You gotta stop that, dude.
You think it's my choice,
dude? That's not good for me if I hold in my farts. That's science talking.
Any more thoughts on Windows?
No. Oh well, the breakdown Bareface. I'm glad Bareface got his little rap verse off moment to shine. That was like the first big Bareface thing we got so far.
We did not get a lot of Bareface.
Okay, which is kind of calls back to the Saturation trilogy almost in a way. How there wasn't as much Bareface. He was kind of, tacked on. Not tacked on, but like.
I kind of liked the fact that he's kind of hidden in the back. He's kind of like the dude in the party who's kind of sitting in the corner, not really doing much. But then when he comes in, it's like, oh shit, this guy has something to say.
Yeah.
Okay, big bombshell dropping on you guys right now.
So
up until Windows, the first 6 tracks, like that's like those are all wins for me. But The next two songs I don't like really that much.
Really?
Which one?
Don't really like Charlie
You On
Wilson
and Old
one.
News.
Or yeah.
I've seen this take before.
Don't really like those ones.
I also didn't like them much at first, but now I'll Take You On. I've been singing that all day. Fucking just because it's a boy band pop song. It's not like I like it because it's so fucking classic, like boy bandy sounding, but it still has the Brockhampton fucking edge to it that I'm like, okay, this is sick.
I do really like I'll Take You On for the same reason, and like just like really good back and forth chemistry between the group. There's a lot of back and forth there. I do agree with you on Old News. I think there's nothing really special.
Old News
about
really
it.
doesn't grab you, like, and
Yes,
I don't even
there's
really
nothing
like
really
this. I
special
don't like
about
this
it.
Baird guy that much at all.
I liked his verse. Well, because the Baird guy isn't the chorus. That's Jabari. Baird has one of the verses that I thought was Joba at first.
Yeah,
I didn't really like.
I do like his Baird's reference of Coyote by Joni Mitchell. Is like No Regrets Coyote. That's Joni Mitchell's song, which I respect.
Okay, Joni Mitchell points. Yeah,
I like the melody on this chorus a lot. The lyrics are kind of not great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think I like My Champions part a lot.
I don't really. I think it's just that's the.
Merlin's good on it. Joba's good on it.
That's just the style of music that they do that I don't like as much.
What style would you say that is?
This more boy bandy kind of
Yeah.
Okay.
I also
That's
I kind of hate songs about like that with the chorus is catchy, but just the lyrics don't do it for me. Like it's like
for sure.
so
I
like
agree with that.
I did this all for you. What do I have to do?
Yeah.
What do I have to prove?
Yeah.
Why do you play in games with me? Like, it's like, shut up. Like,
I
I don't give
say-
a fuck about your stupid relationship that you're in. Like,
Jesus, man. Calm down.
I just can't help but like be like, shut up.
Yeah, I'm cynical.
I would say the bottom three songs for me are Count on Me, Dear Lord, and Old News. But I don't dislike any one of them. Wow. There's not a song I dislike on it. I'm not going to play Dear Lord every time I listen to the album. Or if I'm shuffling shit, I'll skip it.
I might as well get to Dear Lord. I was going to save this for when we actually get to it. But Dear Lord is their Jesus.
Not Jesus. Jesus is King.
Yeah. Jesus is King. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
I'm
Yeah.
not that big of a Kanye fan, so it's like
Dear Lord is
their Jesus is King.
If you want to listen to a gospel sing along, which starts off a cappella for the first minute before there's a little bit of fucking
instrumentation, piano shit,
gospel organ that comes in at the end there, and just for the flow of the album. It's kind of cool to have that at the end there as just like for a first listen. Yeah, you're like, wow, this is quite the experience. Listening to this.
But there's not like too much to it. Obviously,
it is.
I'm not going
to
like come back to that one.
It is. Yeah, it's similar to what I was saying about the saturation thing. How like they
at the end every time.
They link to saturation in terms of using Bareface a little less. They use them at the very end for a soft outro to the album. And then the light is like the proper outro. Dear Lord is like kind of, I feel like the intro to that song more so than a song itself.
Yeah.
Like it kind of introduces you to the religious ideas, and then it's talking about the light is worth the wait. And Joba comes in with a fucking heartbreaking bar, like, did you think of me when you had the gun to your head or whatever? I'm just like, Jesus. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, what the fuck, man? And he just went off and off and off and off on that verse, and it was just, it was crazy heavy, and shouts out to him for doing it.
Let's get back to... Okay, but I feel like being negative about track 7 and 8, but track 9, what's the occasion?
I will say, the other thing about I'll Take On You, the Charlie Wilson feature was interesting, but
I didn't like
might not be needed, and also, why do you want to put auto-tune on Charlie Wilson? He doesn't need auto-tune. He's human auto-tune. Like, he's such a good singer. Like, I get it, Brockhampton trying to be experimental and stuff, but at the very end
it's more of an aesthetic choice.
Yeah, I get it, but not my favorite thing. But I still like those songs.
I just don't really fuck with it.
It's the same thing as like people who don't like auto-tune. It's like, oh, it's fixing something bad or whatever. It's like, no, it's like it can do stuff with the voice that is not.
Yeah, but it still wasn't like needed.
Naturally.
It didn't add anything by doing it. To me.
Okay.
But yeah, what's the occasion? Yeah, that's the one we talked about. It was just
what's the occasion?
A soft rock song.
I like how the song is. It's kind of about fucking. I think.
What?
What's the occasion?
Something about swimming in the sheets and what's the occasion. I feel like what's the occasion is something you say when like someone's, your girl surprises you with a blowjob and you go,
What's the occasion?
What's the occasion?
That's not what you say when you're getting head, dude.
Yes, quite.
What is it? Is it St. Patrick's Day?
Indubitably.
What comes in indubitably? Get off the camera again, dog.
Goodness.
Get the fuck out of here.
Is it St. Bartholomew's Day? I'm just saying the song's kind of cheeky in a way.
Yeah, but it is
but
crazy...
it's like this anthem kind of.
Something they've never done before. It is definitely an anthem. That whole outro is crazy.
It breaks down into just the piano chords.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo,
this is...
Like, and then there's like the...
That's definitely Beatles.
Fucking like choir type singing that comes in.
That's some Hey Jude.
Yeah.
That's some Hey Jude right there.
And then just like comes back with this big guitar fucking...
Yeah.
It's a great moment. It felt like, to go back to the... Everything that's good is Kanye inspired.
Okay.
It does kind of remind me of like Ghost Town or some of the more like...
Yeah, I guess.
Triumphant kind of rock inspired, the Kid Cudi, some song off the Kid Cudi and Kanye. Well, just with the mixing the rock elements in there with. But is it more of just a straight up rock song?
I think it's more of a straight up rock song than that. But
it
might draw influence
I feel like
from
there's
that.
some rapping in it.
Oh yeah, Matt Champion raps, and I think there's another verse from Joba or something, or
but
Kevin.
It's a lot
I'm
of
not sure,
hooks.
Yeah,
and
a lot
choruses.
of it is the chorus. Yeah. Speaking of Kanye, "When I Ball" is the next song, which is a great fucking.
Yes, dude. This is my number one song on the album.
Great summer track, but also introspective. Yeah, Dom the whole verse about how growing up.
Love Dom's verse.
Yeah, growing up, he didn't know that.
I even like Matt. I don't like Matt as much on this album overall,
really?
But I think he has a sick verse on that song.
I think he was stronger here than he was Iridescence and Ginger.
I didn't enjoy the hook of that as much, but it might take some getting used to, because like. Oh, he's used to tell me.
That's another case of the chipmunky vocals kind of being a little much for me, and Kevin's hooks not being as sticky as they once were. But
is that Kevin?
I think so. Yeah.
It sounded like Joba to me.
Maybe either way.
It's totally Kevin.
Yeah, I think it's Kevin. But anyway,
but Job is also singing with him.
Yeah, that might.
Anyway, yeah, that one stuck out to me at first. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like that. But the more I heard it, I'm like, yes, it's
for
perfect.
me. Like, I think
the verses save it for
me. Why this thing really fucking scores all the points for me is like it does sound like old school Kanye with the
shut the fuck up, man,
with the fucking but with the fucking violin sample.
Yeah, I keep hearing it. Yeah. Chad Hugo was involved with it of the Neptunes and fucking.
I'm about to get angry at you, dog.
Fucking Kanye,
but
God damn it.
They literally all met on a Kanye forum.
I know, no, I'm aware. Yeah. I'm just saying, I don't like that you're so excited about it. I don't like that it's that much of a win for you. No, get down.
This song really sounded like, okay, this is a classic. This is one that can go in the whip. I like how the song is about. They all kind of stick onto topic. Generally, I think that it's a song's kind of about growing up
nostalgia
and
shit and struggles
realizing like the responsibilities of adulthood and like
which they're so good at doing that shit. Like those are some of my favorite songs. Kind of like Milk earlier, where talking about like, or back when Merlin used to talk about fucking going to college and fucking dropping out and shit like that. Like that kind of stuff was very. It's a reason why their audience is like early 20-year-olds, or like late teens, like
hype beasts who wear fucking graphic tees.
Well. Shut up.
But yeah, that song really hits all my fucking pleasure points.
Oh God, pleasure points. Please,
I love that.
That cannot be the name of the episode.
That violin sample with the fucking
it's a beautiful
strings,
beat. Yeah, it's a
strings get
me going.
It's
one of the best songs on here for sure.
The verses are. I don't think there's a bad verse on it.
No, it's a all around great.
Actually,
track.
There's no real bad verses on a lot of this.
But I also the reason why I wanted to say that was because the whole thing about the pitched up voice on that, like
of course.
But I feel like that one it's justified because it's part of the whole thrust of the song is
about
like
being a child, like almost
about nostalgia and what you growing up kind of shit.
Also, that reminds me of the light part. At the end, there's like this high pitched sort of thing at the end of the light.
I don't remember that.
It's like it sounds like to me the first time I heard it. And every single time I hear it, it sounds like a baby crying, and that kind of like adds to like the really spooky kind of like depressing kind of.
Wow, dude, you're hearing babies crying in this shit.
I'm hearing a baby cry at the end, or at least what it sounds like a baby crying at the end of The Light, and that kind of like adds to the really heavy.
That's just you crying in the background.
Okay, that explains it. All right.
That's a great catch, though. If you really heard that, I mean, I'm still fresh into listening to this album.
That's what I hear, anyway.
Yeah. Next one, Shoot Up the Party, or don't shoot up the party.
Speaking of things that not everybody hears, that bareface scream at the end, I love it. I love that. It gave me chills the first time I heard it. It was so good.
Don't Shoot Up the Party is.
Kevin getting political and shit.
Yeah, all of them getting Matt getting political, Joba as well. Like,
yeah,
but also Joba in that song in a way is still referencing his father's suicide because he's like fucking, don't grab that pistol. Think about who's gonna miss you.
Yeah,
like shit like that. Where it's still political in a way it fits the song, but it's also like knowing that throughout the whole album it changes like all of the songs, and knowing that and knowing like his contribution to all of them, it changes it.
Yeah,
which is pretty special.
That song is catchy and I like it, but I don't know. There's something like a little bit off.
I think it's
to me
one of their best bangers in a long time. It's very Saturation-esque. Have like the synth use in the chorus. That's a very like old school Brockhampton shit to do, which I really fuck with. And I'm glad that there's because it's overall there's some great bangers on the album, but there's a lot of sad and rough stuff as well. That I'm glad that there's a song like this where it still means something because there's obviously a point to it and they're talking about real issues, but it's a banger. So it's not just a regular banger; it's a banger with a fucking point and trying to say something, which is welcome. But I think it's super hard.
I just didn't. Overall. I don't know. I felt like it was the political message was. It felt a little bit too like forced, like that they had to like say something about school shooters or whatever. Because like,
I don't think I didn't perceive it that way.
I don't know. I think maybe it's just like Kevin says so much confusing shit that I don't really understand exactly what he's. I haven't really processed the song yet. You know what I mean?
I remember.
I don't really understand what exactly they're trying to say exactly.
Don't quite have
an
opinion on it.
It seems a little too vague about like what. Because it's not a fucking essay where they're gonna say exactly what they mean, like what their argument that they're making is. But I understand the general sentiment of the song.
Yeah.
I mean, they are literally saying they are anti-shooting people.
Yeah.
So that's they're coming strong against that.
But I don't think it's that. At the same time, like it's still the fact of it being a banger. You can also just choose to ignore that aspect of it and just be like, oh, it's a fucking banger. Like to me, I'll maybe look at it more that way, where I'm not trying to figure out and decode all the little things that are happening, like which I understand. I also
I'm just trying to analyze the lyrics and see what they're really saying. Like what are they really?
When concerts happen, that don't shoot up the party. I imagine everybody in the crowd just going, "Don't shoot up the party!"
Yeah,
like they're gonna go crazy on that one
for sure.
Except for the one guy who brings a gun to the concert.
It kind of ruins it for everybody.
We talked about Dear Lord already, and the Light Part 2 we talked about a little bit as well. While you guys talk about that, I'm gonna try to find that one fucking Joker bar that I wanted to mention.
I mean, the Light Part 2 is great ending. The light is worth the wait. And I mean, like it's like
it's sort of a quiet ending to
it's
it.
The Light Part 2. So
it's also like, completely. It's also not like quiet in terms of. I mean, it's quiet sounding, but like Joba's verse is probably one of the most powerful verses on the whole thing, right?
Yeah. I need to listen to it once more. Oh yeah. I do really like that Kevin bar about don't try to shield me from the truth like I'm some fucking person that can't handle it or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, because I always hate that attitude of like people feeling like that. You can't understand this, so we're just gonna like not explain this to you or whatever. Like
treating me like a kid, like fuck that. Tell me,
Yeah, and Kevin's overall aspect of like that. Him expressing himself through music is such an important way where he like takes control back in his own mind from like the abuse that he gets from the world and stuff like that. And I also like the Chappelle Show.
Nice, that's a good conclusion. The one Joba bar I want to talk about was actually I didn't realize it was like the last kind of section here of his verse. What a shame things change in the blink of an eye, fade away, fast break to the depths in the sky. Impermanence turn permanent with a 9, that's life, that's life. That's some crazy imagery and shit, and it still has like crazy meaning, and
yeah,
obviously with the situation, it's crazy.
Joe
crazy
drops
meaning, but
some fucking
some poetry shit on his verse for sure.
Shit, yeah.
So I'm glad that it's not just like a thing where it's like him like just spewing his guts out about it and not like thinking it through. Really, I'm glad he still has like he's in a well enough headspace to fucking actually come up with some great fucking content with it. And apparently, I've read in interviews like. This was the one he had to like try the least hard on. It just came. It was just all so natural, which it makes sense.
With his constant like, it's almost like a stream of consciousness kind of thing where it's just unfiltered, and I definitely really like that about it. But also have it being poetic. It's like you can tell that it's hard. Like I can't even fucking imagine what like that going through something like that and turning it into art, like that's like next level.
I can't wait for his solo projects when he goes solo, if he does.
Yeah, and Kevin's also talking about him and Joba doing an EP together, just those two, which would be fire. And Kevin's been tweeting more kind of snippets of his own solo shit that he plans on doing. I kind of want to talk about how Kevin claims that the last one after this, that's also dropping this year apparently, will be their last album. They've said it before, and it's been not true. And he's said it. He's constantly has lied to the fan base about multiple things. But I've been seeing in like interviews and stuff with them that when people are asking them about this, they seem to be more genuine this time. Or Kevin is explaining like, I just thought like it's a time for everyone
point, like,
to.
What are they like 25 years old? Or I don't know.
Probably.
Is everyone just as old as I am? Or
yeah, probably around the same. Maybe 26 or 7 max.
Yeah, Kevin is the same age as us. Because
so it's like at some point
96.
you can't be in a boy band if you're not a boy anymore.
Also, Kevin has said that they don't want to be called a boy band anymore in a recent interview.
They're a man band.
Yeah. No, he just said like that was kind of it made sense for then, but now it doesn't really like. They just it was a thing for its time, but he doesn't. I don't know. He just doesn't want to be called that anymore.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're gonna end. I think it'll be more so what we're seeing recently of them taking a year or two off and then releasing an album after, but them also giving them time to explore other things, but not officially retiring and still, they put out solo shit and they put out another album when they feel all inspired and ready to do it. I don't think we're ever gonna get another Saturation trilogy where it's fucking boom, 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 like all in a row.
Yeah, I think that time for them is past. I think it's like they're not. Like,
so I understand.
They're not kids anymore.
Yeah, I understand if Brockhampton wants to slow down and do their own because Kevin has his own label he wants to do as well, and other people have other aspirations, which makes sense. And they're at a pretty solidified moment in their music careers as a band altogether that it makes sense that they might want to start pursuing other things. But I don't think that they're going to completely be gone. What are you smirking about over there?
I'm just thinking about what Brian Beatty's going to do after the band.
Shut the fuck up, man. God damn it. I like one of his solo songs.
I just like how he's the most make-funnable person in the whole band. Because he's the one that really should be in a boy band. The rest of them are rappers.
And he's not actually in the band, technically.
Yeah. But can Brian Beatty rap? That's another interesting question that should come out of this. But you just had a good riff about.
Do you think they're actually?
I think they're gonna.
I think they're gonna slow down, but not gonna end.
They should honestly go their separate ways. Like,
what's their contract with their RCA?
I don't know. No one really knows.
I just want to hear more solo projects. They should.
I'm really interested to hear. Yeah.
From each and every one of them, they could all do one.
Yeah, it used to be like back in the day. It's like, oh, which one do I want to solo from more? But now I'm like, I'll take any of them.
I want Matt Champion and 21 Savage to do an album together.
Without Warning 2, but with Matt Champion now.
Yes, dude.
Over Metro Boomin Beats.
I want Kevin Abstract, Lil Nas X collabs to happen.
Just a Bareface project because he seems to be like. His like sort of like shoegaze kind of rock style I love that stuff. Yeah. What he adds to it.
I want Merlin and Denzel Curry.
Yeah.
That would destroy the world.
No, fuck that. I want Merlin crazy. To be the next president of the United States of America.
Yeah,
Merlin,
dude.
Merlin.
Go Merlin.
Go Merlin.
Yeah. These rappers need like more rope to explore lyrically, and do a whole project themselves.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's just
like per capita, you're getting less bars from these rappers given their output. as compared to a solo, normal solo rapper that is just doing albums
I'm
thinking,
fully on by themselves.
I'm thinking and I'm just thinking of who would I want, because I mentioned Bareface, I mentioned Kevin's got definitely a thing. I'm thinking Dom has got a lot of so many good verses, and I think that he can really carry it. But I also know that he's got his own studio. He's doing a bunch of philanthropy shit. He's got a lot on his plate as well. So
yeah, even if it's not all music directly from them, they should, because now that they're at a comfortable point in their lives where they can take time and focus on things that they really want to focus on, while still, I think, being in the band, I think is how it's going to end up. They're not going to be... There's not going to be farewell tour. There's not going to be a last album, last song. Yeah. I think it's going to be more so. They're going to slow down a bit, pursue their own shit, come back in a year or two.
It's going to be more of an Odd Future thing where they kind of slowly
Okay, let's make predictions.
Because Odd Future was less of a band than Brockhampton. Odd Future is more of a collective. Yeah. But anyway, what were you going to
say? 5 years from now, we do... we check the net worth for the different Brockhampton members.
Yeah. See where they're at.
Or their level of fame, or their amount of followers on it, or whatever. And who is the most and least?
Yeah.
HK's the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, HK.
I feel like Matt Champion...
Probably fucking the other dude that's in the back sometimes. I recognize his face, but I don't even know his name.
Kiko?
Yeah, Kiko. I don't know what he does. Sorry, Kiko.
He's Kiko and Jabari are a producer.
Oh, he's a producer. Never mind. Production's sick. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Ramil's going to go crazy.
Great producer.
They all have great futures ahead of them. I wanted to talk a little bit about, because Josh mentioned the label thing. They signed for six albums in the span of 2 or 3 years or something like that, 2 albums a year. And I think how it works out, because Kevin's solo album Arizona Baby counted towards that as technically a part of the deal, the album that comes out later this year apparently will be their second to last album on the contract. But people are thinking that maybe Amir's solo album technically counted towards that, because in terms of the deal and how it went, he might still have some sort of deal with them. So that means that could be... RCA? I'm not sure. But that could mean that the last one does actually fulfill their contract agreement. So it could potentially mean, a little bit more of a slowdown than we thought, or maybe a little bidding war between a few people, or if they want to go solo or something. But so that's kind of still, no one really knows 100%. So who knows?
Should we react to?
So I got Merlin 1 and a Dom 1 of the Brockhampton CDs. Comes with 4 bonus tracks. We're gonna listen to them live here and cut around to get our reactions. Yes. We haven't done this since the first episode. This is exciting stuff, guys. This is Jeremiah from Florida Shore.
He's on this song.
What I'm saying is Kevin lost the hook game, man. That's what I'm saying. That would have been a great song if it wasn't for the vocal effects.
They kind of did the same thing on Fake on Saturation 1.
Yeah.
That one's a skip, for sure. I would skip that one.
I kind of want to go back to it and listen to it again, just to give it another...
First impression?
Yeah, First Impression is probably the worst one on here, usually. But
this is the reason why I said bonus track.
Okay, what's this?
This is Sex. This is Sex. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Under the ginger flow. Yeah. Okay, man.
No, man. This is some OnlyFans shit. Joba sex bars? What? Come on the couch, dude. Okay, that was the best Brockhampton song.
This is getting Josh hard right now.
Josh is getting naked. Alright. Nah, I'm not.
This is the most ignorant song I ever made, I think. It's very Odd Future-y.
What the fuck is this?
I love it. It's so fucking off the wall.
Man.
It's crazy.
The song is a fucking Eric Andre show sketch.
This is Pressure / Bow Wow.
This is very Kanye inspired.
Okay. I'm gonna burn my College Dropout vinyl in front of you just to prove a point.
Ripping this off. Yo, we're boys.
Oh, this is the feature. SSG Kobe.
Victoria's Secret reference. Wow, live reaction to the bonus tracks on the new Brockhampton.
They're bonus for a reason. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's completely different than what.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they had sex as the first song on the real album?
Or right before the Light Part 2. Yeah,
that's
fucking wild.
I'm glad that they did that. The song "Sex."
That's the best one out of those.
Call with the coach.
Yeah. No, they're all fucking
crazy.
Down bad on that song. God damn.
Crazy.
That's very Tyler the Creator or very Odd Future-esque. You know, the synths are crazy and fucking just the fucking subject matter and
Merlin gets to go off on his song for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, the other ones I could kind of go without.
Sex is like another dynamic thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah, group sex. Group sex is
Posse track.
Yeah, and Roberto's interlude I'm not going to go back to, and the other one was not
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. I think it would have been a great song if it wasn't for the vocal effects.
I want to go back and, like I said, I want to go back and listen to it again.
I still think it's okay. Like, there's a lot of great ideas. Like the hooks and like the melodies are all sound in there, but just the way they sound, their voices just aren't. It's a little bit too grating for me.
I never
off
really,
a first listen.
I should put out a whole album that sounds like that, though.
I never really
why
had a problem with that. Like the song, like songs on Saturation One, like Fake and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, some of those are some of my more least favorite.
I actually don't mind that.
I fuck with it, but not as much as the other shit.
I fuck with it about as much as the rest of them. I think
you fuck with Fake more as much as Star or whatever.
Yeah, actually, just for a different reason.
Okay, that's a hot take.
I'm just so used to like weird electronic experimental. I'm just experimental stuff, so I'm like, it doesn't really bother. Doesn't really phase
it's good though, even if it's experimental.
Doesn't phase me as much.
Yeah, and then the last one was okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's enough talking about Brockhampton.
Yeah, sorry guys.
For about an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll cut out the first hour.
I don't know why, but for some reason the sex track now is making me angry. I don't know why.
Because you're an incel, Josh. God damn it. It's that time of year where we sniff glue, Alex. Here's a Gorilla Glue.
Okay, don't
pen. What, man? It's a brand.
It's not legal.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, fine. It's legal.
Fine. Whatever.
In the country of Canada, they made a certain substance legal in... People were saying to me today that it was 2019. But that sounds off to me. It must have been 2017.
No, it was 18. We literally talked about this when we were smoking earlier.
And
the point being,
they're talking about weed. This is where you lose me.
Yeah,
because I do not smoke.
Yeah, no, it was the fall of 2018, and then 2019 was when we actually started seeing any repercussions from it, like any actual change.
Right. Point being, it's 420, and we're about to smoke that loud. Weed, dude.
Dude, that was so gay of us.
Are you getting high with us at home? Actually, we don't approve of this.
Yeah, no, Alex is pretty anti-weed, actually, turns out.
Best songs to smoke weed to.
Yeah, we're doing a little 420 special here. Talk about the best songs not the best songs to smoke weed to, but some of our favorite songs to smoke weed to. Ones that meant a lot to us when we were younger. And some old previous 420 experiences, because there's not going to be much of a 420 celebration this year with, COVID and shit. No. So we'll talk about the old ones a little bit. Not as rap-centric, but
it's legal here in Canada, so we should celebrate.
Yeah.
For all the men and women who laid down their lives for us to get high.
There are people that are in jail for marijuana shit that are still in there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I was watching the movie Half Baked the other day.
Is that the one with Doug Benson?
No.
Oh.
Doug Benson. Get out of here.
I'm thinking of...
Dave Chappelle.
Okay. I was thinking of fucking Super High Me, where he just supersized me, but he just smokes weed all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I never saw it, but I thought that was what you were talking about.
Yeah, I watched that.
Okay.
It's kind of stupid. But yeah, also Half Baked is also kind of stupid. Because it's like a movie about weed, but it's like the humor style of like little kids, so it's like kind of weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like a 15-year-old kid would think it's hilarious,
Right.
But there's one bit where it's like, the one stoner who always says, "Yo, have you ever like looked at the stars, man? But have you ever done it on weed?" Like as if being high on something really it doesn't really change your enjoyment of. I mean, if you like it, you're gonna like it even more when you're high because you're in a good mood because of the drug that you're using. Like,
you're not gonna change your
unless
opinion on it.
Yeah, you're not gonna change your opinion. But there are some people that I think if they smoke a lot less than we do and only smoke occasionally, when they do get high, they get like crazy fucking high because their tolerance is lower, and they do like And
they listen to weird ass music that makes them go like, "Dude, I feel like I'm living in a cartoon or some shit, man." Here's what we're talking about. These types of songs is like I feel like when you're out there smoking a bowl by yourself, on a picture of yourself, and you're out there in some weird location, or out there,
your balcony, your backyard, or fucking neighborhood, or
you're walking around somewhere. And you feel like you're in the music video of the song that you're listening to or some shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a good
parameter
entry point into this. But also, let's start off with like all the fucking cliched ass ones about, like when we were first starting smoking weed in like high school and stuff, like we would listen to the Sublime song "Smoke Two Joints."
Yeah.
It started off with this whole skit where it's like from some old like Reefer Madness movie where it's like, marijuana cigarettes, they're bad for you.
Yeah.
And then it's like the sound of a bong getting like it's like the most like stereotypical stoner shit ever. But
I was never into that shit.
If you're in like grade 12, like that's the funniest shit in the world.
Yeah, if you're just starting smoking weed, that shit is awesome because it's like, dude, this is exactly this is like the same thing I'm doing right now. But the more you fucking do it, it's just like, okay, I just, it's less of a whole fucking crazy thing. Like it's,
it becomes like, your personality.
It's just what you do.
Like
that's your opinion.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because it's not necessarily
true. But it just becomes like, if you're gonna watch some movie anyway, you might as well just get high before, and it's not gonna really. It's not like, this movie specifically on weed is crazy. Yeah,
there's nothing that would change. Yeah, like we said before, would change your opinion about it. But regardless,
this movie sober trash. It's like this movie on weed, amazing, the best, most.
It literally does not change your perception of the world or art that much, but.
It would help you maybe tolerate something that's a little bit less, just because, like, I'll just have fun with it, or, I'm not going to take it too seriously.
I think it's similar to the way that there's songs that encourage drinking that you want to hear at the party, that make everyone have a good time. It's a similar thing with when everyone's smoking up. This one I actually heard this morning.
Okay.
When I was driving into work, and I heard someone else playing it in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Life's a bitch, and then you die. That's why we get high.
That's a great song.
So Nas, first of all, that's the first one. Shout out to him for that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, I mean, it's true. Life is a bitch, and then you get high.
Yeah, go through your list first, and we'll do mine. We'll do a separate thing.
Also Sublime, Waiting for My Ruka.
I don't know if I know that one. You're a bigger Sublime fan
That's
than
the
me.
other Sublime one. That's it's like this really slow kind of like sing along shit that is like for those when you're way too high kind of thing, and, and you just want to hear some music that's gonna like be like, what, dude, this is weird, man. But this is more kind of like hanging out in cars smoking weed for this is like complete burnout like
behavior.
Yeah. Also, yeah, we listened to. I showed you a bit of it earlier. Afro Man, Colt 45.
That was pretty funny.
I mean, because I got high is the Afro Man song that everyone knows. You know? And that's a great one too. But Afro Man in general, great stoner music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's certain bands or rappers that are just better for that shit. For me, I wrote down Mac Miller, Earl Sweatshirt, Action Bronson, A$AP Rocky. Are like really usually regardless of like the song, like it puts you. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's just good to smoke to, simply.
I mean, those are just rappers that you like, so
but ones that like specifically, if I'm smoking weed, like some of those songs are more experimental or spacey, or have just deliver a certain vibe that I'm tending to hear more. Sure. I don't want to hear some crazy fucking, intense JPEG Mafia fucking song while I'm smoking weed. I don't want this huge crazy experimental thing, but at the same time I don't want some basic fucking pop fucking top 40 shit. But that reminds me of like when I was early on smoking weed. It's so like powerful, like when before you build up a tolerance, that like sometimes like I was getting into Kanye at the time, so I would just put the Yeezus album on when I was super high and I would like close my eyes and just like all the imagery would just like I remember doing that for a few
these weird
too.
like movies in my mind. Like it was like some real fucking complete fucking
cliche stoner movie
cliche ass shit. But
I did that too.
That is how cliche it is. Early days of
for sure. It's
smoking
just,
when you're like a stupid ass burnout.
And a lot of mine are cliche in terms of just they're special to me, or not special to me, but they're like I like them more because they're ones that generally just talk about that shit. Fucking Keep Floating, Mac Miller, Wiz Khalifa. That one's
you had to get the Wiz Khalifa,
man, because I don't really fuck with Wiz Khalifa, but that song is so fucking smooth and it's just perfect for that shit. I remember when I was first getting into it when I was like fucking 16 or whatever. That was a big one. Also Mac Miller, Red Dot Music with him and Action Bronson. Said it must be the drugs that got us thinking crazy shit. Fucked up enough to fucking suck a baby's dick, or whatever he said. No, that one was
true.
a
the
crazy one.
Drugs do have people thinking crazy shit.
Because I remember just that was like some of my crazier trips in terms of like paranoia, or not like bad paranoia, but just like crazy like seeing shit or like being like scared or like oh fuck, like just heightened senses shit, like kind of think I'm going
freaking out
crazy.
About random shit for no reason. Like,
but that's
it's honestly not that fun.
No, it's not a good thing. Yeah.
But in the early days where you have to like sneak around because they're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I remember specifically listening to that song
I don't want anyone to think I'm high. Now it's like
a bunch in my backyard by the fire pit, just smoking that shit, just looking at all the crazy things. Like, whoa, man.
Yeah, or I have Earl Sweatshirt Hive.
That's a good one.
I don't know, something about just how crazy Earl is in the early days.
His just rhyme schemes on that was so next level.
Yeah,
MF Doom.
And Hive has this really like haunting like low beat that
it's some hoodlum.
I don't know. It kind of
hood
draws you
shit,
in to listen.
Sure.
Yeah,
it's like if you're going around fucking around the city, fucking just around in different places, kind of crawling around, feeling like a little bit of a fucking.
For a lot of it, it's like songs that make me nostalgic for times when I was spending a lot of time hanging out in my buddies' cars and shit, and driving to random places, smoking weed, and just like doing stupid shit.
Yeah,
and the types of songs we would listen to back then, you know. For me, like the first song off of Good Kid, Mad City,
Shireen, that's a crazy one, yeah.
Like with the really spacey, atmospheric shit at the beginning,
shit,
with the little like sample of the phone call from the whoever, his mom or some shit. Just setting up the whole storytelling aspect, like it really draws you in. To the whole story. That one, especially when you just get freshly high and you want to hear some crazy tale about someone's life and like go down the whole rabbit hole, of thinking about some random ass shit.
Yeah, for sure. I also got here one more. My last Mac Miller one, The Question with Lil Wayne. The whole like, what am I doing here? Spacey fucking like vibe of it all.
Yeah.
It's crazy when I'm feeling introspective and thinking about my life and shit. I'm just like, yo.
What am I doing?
That was another one, kind of a cliche one towards the beginning, but still rings true. I also have Two by Chance. Brain Cells was a classic one. Yeah, I remember just walking around during the summer fucking bumping that shit.
Brain Cells from
10 Day.
10 Day from Chance. Yeah, that's a good one.
That one's a special one. I also have Smoke Break with him in Future, because that one's a vibe too.
Oh man, what was the this is a rare Tyler pull that I'm going to try to do.
Okay, let's see if I'm up for the challenge here.
From the Odd Future tape.
Oh, Up.
Up.
The one that we played in my car a few weeks ago, and you were like, yo, this is the crazy... We were making fun of that whole, like, yo, this is the song I would smoke weed too, man.
Yeah, no, but that one is like...
That one's up there.
Late into the night where you've had too much to smoke, and you're like,
just
basically about to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great song. Too. My other Tyler one was Jamba.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Where he has the whole thing about...
The smoke weed.
Yeah.
Get that green.
And he has this whole thing about, like... Well, all the flakes are on our clothes. Like, there's so much weed that you can just shake it up to make a blunt.
But also at the same time, him talking about how he doesn't smoke weed, but still kind of making a weed anthem almost is pretty...
But it's kind of, the songs are more about rolling around with your posse of...
Which is kind of what we were doing back in the day. You know, when we first started smoking weed, we'd be in high school, we were hanging out with our boys and going different places and, like, just...
Driving to McDonald's.
Dude, that shit was fucking insane, dude.
Remember
time they give you the extra nugget, dude?
It was crazy, man.
I peaked. I also have Two by Joey Badass, My Youth or My Ute. That one's crazy. Devastated by Joey Badass too, because I remember one time, it was back when my parents, back when, like, right when I was, like, first started smoking, my parents would on the weekends take our sister to camp, right? And so there'd be a time where they were both gone for like 2-3 hours of like on a Friday night. So I'd be like, oh, perfect time for me to go smoke weed, because then I don't have to fucking sneak around them, right? And Devastated was one where I was smoking in my backyard, like, you know, Friday of fucking high school. Nothing going wrong in my life at all. Like, everything's perfect.
Were devastated.
No, and the song's called Devastated, but it's a bop. It's a hype song. And I remember Joey Badass on Snapchat was like, yo, send me videos of you guys reacting to fucking Devastated. I'll post you or whatever. And I'm like, oh dude. No. And I fucking did it, and it was so fucking lame. And I don't even know if he opened it. But, yeah. Must be the drugs, man.
Dude, they got us posting crazy shit.
That's true, man.
That's a very specific memory. For me,
yeah.
Specific memories, I got Schoolboy Q, By Any Means.
I remember you telling me about that one. On, like, the train tracks or whatever, and you were fucking, like, doing a whole...
Yeah.
Music video shoot.
Yeah, I was smoking on some train tracks.
Which you should do,
train
everyone
break.
Out there. Everyone out there?
Yeah.
Great idea. Definitely.
I didn't get killed, so... And I'm not that smart of a dude.
Yeah.
But I am pretty sick.
I feel like there was a point you were going there. Yeah, By Any Means, Schoolboy Q.
That's one of those ones where the song's not really about weed at all.
But it just reminds you of that.
But it's got this real kind of spacey, like, and the song builds up at the beginning. And just the idea, I don't know, I just like the song in general about by any means. You know, by any means, okay? By any means, I'm gonna buy the next little bit of weed so I can stay high. By any means, okay? I don't care how poor I get.
Was that the point in your life when you were commuting and going to school and were not working and had like no money at all and you were barely having to scrape by?
It was By Any Means.
Yeah.
Well, the specific memory, I remember that I was really into the song at the time that I was like doing my like G2 road test or whatever, and there's a line about like, you can push that whip, you can rush that, you can go, and I was like listening to it in the shower the morning where I had to do my road test.
Yeah,
but I didn't get high for my road test. I mean, that would be...
That's irresponsible.
Straight up wrong. Okay? Kids, do not smoke and drive. Unless, you know, you're one of those guys.
But do drink and drive.
Yeah.
That's never a bad idea. I also have last two here. Chapter 6 by Kendrick Lamar off Section 80. That was the kind of like interlude one where it's like all spacey and...
Spacey and atmospheric.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
And cohesive.
Sonically, it sounds great.
And Radiohead-esque. And Kanye-esque.
I'll play it real quick.
I would say Kanye West's music is fun to listen to while you're high. Yeah, this is a good one.
This is like classic, like fucking rolling through the hood with your homies, fucking summer night, just like causing trouble, just like, oh man.
Yeah.
Doing illegal drugs,
doing
am I right,
gang
guys?
crimes. Janae Aiko Sativa featuring.
That's a good one.
Featuring Race Frember.
And I also have Logic.
I love the line "smoking weed out the container." ASAP Rocky LSD.
That's a good one too.
But that's probably better to do when you're on LSD.
Facts.
To be honest.
But
that's one of those ones where the music video is really sick.
Yeah, for sure.
And music videos are already cool to look at, even if you're not high. But
yeah, so those are our recommendations. If you're getting high with us right now, so if you are getting high, just go listen to those songs. But we will talk about a little bit. That first 420 I went to, I think, like proper 420 when I celebrated it, was in university. First year, and we went to that rally in Toronto.
Yeah.
Me and you. And it was like raining. It was kind of a shit day.
It was
and it was like packed Young Dundas Square.
Oh, yeah. It was, there was all these booths set up, like selling, like illegally selling all these fucking...
I remember we bought some edibles, and I never took them, and I only, like a few months ago, I found them sitting in the bottom of my nightstand, all crumpled up and old and shit. I'm like, oh, gross.
That was stupid buying those edibles, but it was just really the experience of standing in a big ass crowd of people, and then at 420, like suddenly everyone gets high.
It's not really a vibe, but it is kind of a vibe.
I think it's kind of funny. I think it's kind of fun.
It's funny, but also like if I'm trying to get like
just to observe people and like everyone's high, observing each other.
No, it's definitely a moment. I'm glad I did it, but. Like, if I'm trying to be in my perfect space of being high, it's not in a crowded fucking group of people. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I like the community of stoners. Like,
yeah, but it is
it's funny, like when you're a big crowd and then like because everyone's high, like everyone's being very polite with each other about like, oh no, sorry man, like it's not like a regular when you're walking through afterwards, like everyone's like, oh sorry man, like everyone's smiling at each other like
It was a big moment for both of us because you did probably the most athletically impressive thing to have ever done in a weed rally, which was catch one of the joints that they were throwing out right before it started. Because I think we only had like one. We had like very little weed to actually smoke. Because we were both commuting and shit, and it was raining. That was also the first time I got on national television because I was on City TV in the background. Remember when they were doing like the whole rally there? And I was just fucking at the very end, just like, so I did, and I fucking peace out. Yeah, that was a moment.
Fucking City News. I went the next year with my buddies.
That was the only time I went, yeah.
The one thing I remember about that one was... Well, that one was at Nathan Phillips Square, so it was a much bigger group of people. And that one, like, people were just chilling out. It wasn't, like... In fucking Dundas Square, there's not really, like, it's that much room to chill. Like,
it's just you have to stand there. There's more people, like, kind of posted up and shit.
Yeah, that one was more... But that one was, like... Yeah, probably the biggest group of people all getting high at once that I've ever been at, which was pretty cool to see. And there was some guy some guy with a microphone that was like trying to like do the event, but like no one was really paying attention to him. Some guy got up and advertised their podcast where they talk about rap. Yeah,
I remember you telling me about that. So that's kind of
and that wasn't me.
No, and it should have been though, because to be fair, I think we had the idea of or the joke of a Rapcast since before that.
At the time,
which is funny as fuck. KOD, the album I meant to talk about this before. The J. Cole album is also a good one too, just because that came out on 420 in like 2019 or whatever, 2018. And I remember, I think you and Brad were out fucking doing that shit, and then I was like, I'm just gonna walk around the neighborhood, take photos and shit. It was a nice day. And that album had just dropped. I listened to it for the first time while high. And it's all about, like, the dangers of doing drugs. And I'm like, damn. But it's still kind of a vibe, though.
Damn.
Which is kind of the point of the album. Yeah. But, and then another year, probably one of my saddest moments ever was like, I need to get high right now for 420 because I'm a stoner, right? And it's 420 and it's bad time. 420 is not a good day to smoke, by the way. It's kind of not the best time to smoke. But,
I think it's a fine time to smoke.
Well, you smoke all the time. But, I'm like, I'm so desperate to smoke at this exact moment, and I still kind of had to sneak around a little bit at the time, and I went up to our fucking, little fucking fort area up there, little balcony kind of area that's roofed, because it was raining, so I fucking managed to, and there's all a bunch of furniture there, though, because we haven't put the shit out for the spring yet, And so I had to kind of squeeze my way into like the whole bundle of furniture and like grab a hammer and a nail from the garage and like tape up the, like put up the tarp just so I have some sort of shield so I don't get rained on. And then I did, and then at the end of that, I'm like, fuck, man, this was just fucking stupid.
Just smoke in the garage, you idiot.
This was like way back when I was still like super fucking freaked out about that shit.
Weren't you also like deathly sick one year on 420?
The first 2 times I was into, I actually started smoking, like the first 2 years where 420 I would have smoked. I was sick both times. Mm-hmm. So.
I'm the type of guy that smokes when he's sick so that he forgets that he's sick.
There you go.
But it does hurt your throat.
Big brain moves.
Speaking of sick, this was a pretty sick podcast, boys, but I think we're on our way out. We'll see you guys late April. And happy 420. Josh, first ever smoke right here on the Rapcast.
No.
Josh, do you love me?
Okay.
Of course.
With my dealer, I'm always getting them deals. My weed the real deal. How could you not see the appeal? All I need is the weed, just a third wheel. If I was on death row, an edible would be my last meal. For real.